As we are heading into 2019 and wrapping up 2018, which has been a rather good year of game offerings for PlayStation Plus subscribers, in this video I want to take a look at 10 games that would be awesome PlayStation Plus titles heading into the new year. Now, do I expect all of these games to become PlayStation Plus titles? No, but these are 10 games that I would absolutely love to see as PlayStation Plus offerings, and if you guys are familiar with this channel and you've seen me make similar videos and talk about PlayStation Plus games in general, you know that I like to be realistic. Would it be awesome if we got games like Marvel's Spider-Man and Red Dead Redemption 2 as Plus titles? Yes, but I know that's not gonna happen, at least not anytime soon. So with these games, they're awesome games, but at the same time, they're very, very realistic to actually become PlayStation Plus titles, and I'll try to reason with you guys as to why I put each game in there. With that being said, let's get right into it with the first title, and that is Gravity Rush Remastered. Gravity Rush is one of those IPs that I am so sad has not gotten more popular than it did. It really has gone to the wayside, and I doubt we're ever gonna see a brand new title. But what better way to revitalize interest in the franchise than offering Gravity Rush Remastered as a PlayStation Plus title? Now, Gravity Rush was originally a PlayStation Vita title. It was very well received on there. Then it was ported over to the PlayStation 4, and it made a very smooth transition onto there. And we even got a sequel to Gravity Rush in Gravity Rush 2. That game did not do all too well from a commercial standpoint, so that is unfortunate. I would love to see that game as a Plus title as well. But to start things off, I think offering Gravity Rush Remastered would be a great way to get people into the franchise, at least try the game out. And at this point, it's not like people are going back and buying Gravity Rush Remastered physically. This game is actually super expensive, so that's not even an option for the majority of people. But as a PlayStation Plus title, I think it could reignite some interest into Gravity Rush. Would it get to the point where it would lead to a Gravity Rush 3? I doubt that, but still, I want to see more people play Gravity Rush. And as a PlayStation Plus title, I think more people would check it out. Another game I think would be a great PlayStation Plus title is Tomb Raider: The Definitive Edition. Now, Tomb Raider was a game that was originally released on the PlayStation 3 all the way back in 2013, and it really kicked off this new wave of Tomb Raider titles with Rise of the Tomb Raider following, and recently we had Shadow of the Tomb Raider. But also recently, I feel like some of the luster of Tomb Raider has left. Shadow of the Tomb Raider from early commercial numbers didn't seemingly do all too well. So Tomb Raider is another franchise I think needs to have its interest reignited, and to give people Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, that original 2013 title that was later ported to the PlayStation 4, I think that's a good starting point, especially because a lot of newer gamers remember that that game at this point is 5.5 years old. Maybe they never even played the first Tomb Raider title, and that's a shame because that 2013 Tomb Raider title is really great. A lot of you guys think these Tomb Raider games are even better than Uncharted. I don't think I agree with that, but hey, it's a very good game, and to see it as a Plus title would be fantastic. Next up, we have Steamworld Dig 2. Steamworld Dig 2 is an awesome game. It was the follow-up to Steamworld Dig, and it's a side-scrolling Metroidvania-style game with some awesome presentation, and while the game isn't rather lengthy, it's not like this game has a ton of content that'll keep you invested for, say, north of 40 hours. The playthrough that you get out of Steamworld Dig 2 is very satisfying, and a game like this would be perfect for Plus. When it was initially released, it was received very well, but at this point, it's not like a lot of gamers bring up Steamworld Dig 2 as a fantastic game. I'm one of those people that do. I think very highly of this game, and to offer it as a Plus title, I think that would be a good move sometime in 2019. I know it's still more of a recent release, so we might not get it in the next month or two, but midway through 2019, I would love to see this game as a Plus offering. Next up, we have a game that I've talked quite highly of, and that's Watch Dogs 2. It is incredible to me that Watch Dogs 2 gets no credit whatsoever. Maybe because the first Watch Dogs disappointed a ton of gamers. Maybe it's because Ubisoft just generally has a more negative reception by some gamers. I don't know what the reasoning is, but I often compare Watch Dogs 2 to Assassin's Creed 2, in that remember when the first Assassin's Creed was released? That was a game that disappointed a lot of gamers, but then Ubisoft came back and put out Assassin's Creed 2, and it modified a lot of things and made the overall experience better. Well, that's what I think we got out of Watch Dogs 2. Unfortunately, with Watch Dogs 2, it did not resonate with gamers and get a level of commercial success to warrant a third game. A third game might happen at some point, but at this point, we haven't heard about it. So to offer Watch Dogs 2 as a Plus title, I think is a great idea. I should note that there is a Watch Dogs 2 demo that's available for everyone, and that is a pretty lengthy demo that gives you an idea of what kind of experience to expect out of the full game. If you have some interest in Watch Dogs 2, at least check out that demo, but to get the full game as a Plus title, I think that would be even better. Next up is a game that is very pertinent to an upcoming game release, and I would love to see the Metro Redo Collection as a part of the PlayStation Plus offerings in 2019. Now, Metro Exodus is going to be released in February of 2019, and the difference with Metro, unlike a lot of first-person shooters, is that this is a very story-driven experience. Mainly because it is a single-player only first-person shooter, and it relies heavily on its storytelling. That's why heading into the release of Metro Exodus, while it's not going to be absolutely paramount that you play 2033 and Metro Last Light, it probably will enhance your experience. And guess what? 2033 and Last Light are tremendous games, so to just get them as plus titles, that would be great. They're very atmospheric single-player first-person shooters, and they're relatively lengthy. We're talking 8 to 10 hours. They've got quality gameplay. Visually, they look awesome. I cannot say enough good things about Metro 2033 and Last Light, and Metro Exodus looks to take the bar of the franchise and raise it tenfold. That game looks incredible, and I truly believe it's one of the frontrunners for 2019 Game of the Year, and I say that because of the quality of 2033 and Last Light, and I think more gamers need to experience those games. Moving on from that, another game I think more gamers need to experience is Sleeping Dogs. I would love to see the Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition as a part of the PlayStation Plus lineup. Now, Sleeping Dogs was another game originally released on the PlayStation 3. Didn't release to much fanfare, however, those that played the game absolutely loved it. Some will say that it's GTA in Hong Kong, but it's so much more than that. It has a much more grittier story, a more focus on the hand-to-hand combat, which is great. Yes, it is set in an open-world environment. That open world is much more contained and keeps everything flowing. It has some great visuals, and the Definitive Edition comes with a lot of extra content, and those aforementioned visuals are enhanced. Sleeping Dogs is a great game, and whenever I mention it in a video, some of you guys come out of the woodworks and say, yes, thank you for mentioning Sleeping Dogs, and how could I make this video without mentioning it yet again? Regularly, you'll find this game on the PlayStation Store on sale for like $4.50, and for that price, I would highly recommend it, but it seems like some gamers don't even want to pick it up at that price. So better yet, how about we offer it as a PlayStation Plus title? Next up, we have Shadow Warrior. Now, Shadow Warrior was a game that resonated very well on PC. It was ported over to PlayStation 4. We also got the release of Shadow Warrior 2, which is a much better game than the first title, but the first title is very, very good, and I would like to see it as a PlayStation Plus offering. If you don't know what the game is, it's a single-player, first-person action shooter, and the game is super stylish, super fast-paced, and it offers a lot of fun. The story isn't anything to take super seriously. However, in terms of that pure fun factor, Shadow Warrior has that in spades. Like I said, the second game, I think, is considerably better than the first, but to start things off, offering the first game as a plus title would be great, and considering the second game is more of a recent release, maybe getting that game right off the bat would be asking a little bit too much, but to get some interest on Shadow Warrior on the PlayStation 4, having it as a plus offering would be great. Next up is a game that I think would be absolutely perfect as a PlayStation Plus offering for a wide variety of reasons, and that is The Order 1886. The Order 1886 is a game that had a considerable amount of hype leading up to the release. It was a game done by Ready at Dawn Studio, which up until that point, they had worked on a lot of different portable titles, very good portable titles like the God of War PSP games. However, The Order 1886 was their foray into a big budget AAA experience, and what we had was a rather disappointing game, mainly because of one factor, and that's the longevity and content of this game. It was released at $59.99, however, the single player campaign, you could complete it in 4 to 5 hours, maybe even quicker than that. However, so many years have passed since the initial release of this game, now you can regularly find it at like $5 to $10, and gamers that actually pick up the game at a discount are like, wow, The Order 1886 is actually a pretty cool experience. From a technical standpoint, one of the best PS4 games that you're going to come across. The story is very interesting, the presentation is great, there are a lot of quality elements in The Order 1886, and I think it's a game that's aged very, very well. Unfortunately, because it was originally released at such a high price point, because of its original negative backlash, and rightfully so, there are still this pocket of gamers that have never played The Order 1886 and just know it as this colossally disappointing experience, but there's much more to the game than that. I doubt that we're ever going to get a sequel to the game, which is kind of unfortunate. I think there's a lot of potential for The Order to become a legitimate franchise and be fleshed out a lot more. Of course, we saw that in the context of the game, but at least to give some more awareness to The Order, offering The Order 1886 as a plus title would be great. Next up, another franchise that I think gamers need to be more aware about, and I would love to see it as a plus title, is the Banner Saga. Now, the Banner Saga is a trilogy at this point. It's a trilogy that's been wrapped up, and it was a fantastic trilogy, but it's also a trilogy that you really need to play from game to game to game. So as a plus title, I would love to see the Banner Saga 1 as a freebie. Now, if you don't know what this is, it's a Viking-themed strategy RPG, and it nails so many elements that an RPG needs to have. Storytelling, it's fantastic on that, and the presentation is great, the music is awesome, the combat is rewarding and engaging, and it's shocking to me that the Banner Saga hasn't accumulated more success than it has. It's very well received from a critical standpoint. Those that played the game absolutely love it. It just hasn't resonated to a larger degree, and I still find that kind of surprising. What better way to get more of a word out about the Banner Saga than offering it as a plus title? And lastly, I did want to give a shout to The Wolf Among Us. Now, Telltale Games is going through a tumultuous time right now, so I don't know if Sony and Telltale or whoever owns the license to The Wolf Among Us could work out a deal, but The Wolf Among Us is considered by many to be Telltale's best game. I think I'm on that boat with agreeing with that statement. Yes, The Walking Dead was fantastic. Tales from the Borderlands was absolutely hilarious, but The Wolf Among Us was a very gripping, very engaging story with an awesome main character, and yes, we were supposed to get a second season season. I doubt that's ever going to come to fruition now, but I feel like every gamer should experience Telltale's best work. The Wolf Among Us was a tremendous game, and it would be great to see it as a Plus title. Again, this is one I'm just a little bit skeptical on how they would get the deal done, but if Sony could work it out, Wolf Among Us as a Plus title would be awesome. And that's going to conclude this video. Again, there are so many other titles that I would love to see as PlayStation Plus games, and we're probably going to update this series every couple of months or so because there are a lot of hidden gems on the PlayStation Store and a lot of games that haven't gotten the recognition that they deserve. But as a PlayStation Plus offering, it could reignite interest in a lot of different games, and I think that's what Plus should primarily be used for. And I think recently Sony has definitely gotten that right with offering games like Yakuza Kiwami, Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition, and other titles as Plus games. Let's just hope they keep that trend rolling heading into 2019. That's going to conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. We'd love to hear what games you'd like to see as Plus offerings, and as always, thank you for watching, and goodbye.